This is WYMT Mountain Sports, your home for the Kentucky Wildcats and local high school sports.
The top-ranked Kentucky Wildcats are undefeated at 13-0 and are hearing talk of a perfect season. The thing John Calipari is having to do is teach the difference between being arrogant and playing with swagger. Calipari says swagger comes from working hard and earning the respect of your opponents, and swagger, not arrogance, is what he wants his team to play with moving forward.
I don't want arrogance. I want a swagger. I don't want arrogance. Arrogance is not earned. Arrogance is I wear the Kentucky uniform. Don't you know who I am? That's arrogance. A swagger is you work so hard, you spend extra time. You have demonstrated performance, Kansas, UCL, you've demonstrated performance. And the third thing is you trust your teammates. Now your team has a swagger. They know they can count on, everybody's countable on the team. I want a team with a swagger. I don't want an arrogant team.
Matthew Mitchell's UK Hoops team is 11-2 on the season and ranked 11th in the country. Friday is the SEC opener for the Kentucky women, and Mitchell is anxious to see how his young team plays on the road at Alabama. While the team has played hard this season so far, he fears they have not been playing hard enough for them to see the success they want in the Southeastern Conference.
I think we're having a hard time understanding how hard we have to play. I think that some of the young post players are, and this is probably most certainly true, they're playing as hard as they've ever played, but it's just not quite hard enough for what's coming and what looms in the conference.
In tonight's KSR Minute, Matt Jones looks at the future for current Kentucky football recruiting coordinator Vince Morrow.
It's New Year's Eve, and I know a lot of you are celebrating, but before we get to that, there is some UK football news that's a little bit worrisome. Vince Morrow, who's a huge part of Mark Stoops' success, he's kind of the recruiting coordinator, is considering taking a job at Michigan. Now, why is this important? As you know, Kentucky football has succeeded by recruiting Ohio. They've basically made Ohio their second home state. And Vince Morrow is a big reason why. He's from there, and he kind of owns the state in recruiting. If he goes to Michigan, not only do they lose him as a recruiter, but Michigan will become a huge player in Ohio and probably bump Kentucky to the second or third biggest program in the state. That's a problem considering how many of the recruits Mark Stoops needs come from the Buckeye State. Now, I don't think it's certain that Vince goes. I think we still have to wait and see. An offer's probably on the table, and he'll decide in the next day or two. But this is a big time for Mark Stoops and a big time for the program. If they lose him, it's not a death blow, but it is going to make things much more difficult. I'm Matt Jones, and this is the KSR Minute.
Two SEC teams in action today on the college football gridiron. Let's start in Miami, Florida. Mississippi State versus Georgia Tech in Miami for the Orange Bowl championship. Jackets force a turnover and capitalize. St. John Days runs it in from 3 yards out to give Georgia Tech a 7-0 lead. Later in the first, they go to the air. Justin Thomas throwing deep to Darren Waller, 41 yards on the play for another score, 14-0 Tech in the first. The Bulldogs storm back into second. Quarterback Dak Prescott on the keeper runs it in from 5 yards out. Bulldogs cut the lead to 14-10. State would add a field goal, but then Tech adds to its lead. Thomas on the rollout decides to keep it, dives for the pylon, gets in for the 13-yard score, 21-13 Yellow Jackets. Then with 5 seconds left in the half, Prescott going for the Hail Mary. The pass is tipped, but Fred Ross makes the diving catch for the touchdown, 21-20 Tech at the break. But Georgia Tech leads this one in the fourth quarter, 42-27 over Mississippi State. Number 9 Ole Miss and number 6 TCU meeting in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. This one was all Horned Frogs from the opening kick. Javon Boykin swings it to Colby Listenby, throws it downfield to Aaron Green for the 31-yard touchdown, 7-0 TCU. Then they go to the ground. Green this time with the 15-yard touchdown run, 14-0 in the first, but they're just getting started. The lone Ole Miss highlight would come in the second. Cody Pruitt, the tremendous interception of Boykin near the end zone, gets his foot down with control. Rebels take over, down 21-0. But 2 plays later, this happens. Bo Wallace, pressured in the end zone, gets rid of the football, but it's picked off by James McFarland for another score. as number 6 TCU rolls the Rebels 42-3, the largest margin of victory in the history of the Peach Bowl. Time now to announce our boys and girls player of the week of the high school hardwood. First, the girls. Leslie County senior Katie Moore averaged 30 points in 2 games last week, including 32 in a loss to East Nashville Magnet School. She connected on better than 57% of her field goal attempts and shot 13 of 21 from behind the three-point line for just less than 62%. On the boys' side, senior guard Cameron Justice of Knott County Central at the Beach Ball Classic in Myrtle Beach against North Little Rock, Arkansas. Justice scored a team-high 27 points in the 70-53 win and shot 10 of 22 from the floor, and during the game scored his 3,000th career point. Our teams of the week: Knott County Central and Cordia. The Lady Patriots went undefeated in the First Trust Bank Holiday Classic at Hazard, finishing 4-0 overall in the tournament. 3 of those wins last week. They won those 3 games by an average of more than 16 points per game to improve to 8-3 on the season. And on the boys' side, the Lions went 4-0 last week, beating a couple of out-of-state teams in the process. The Lions averaged a 15-point margin of victory to improve to 7-1 this season.